What's going on, team? Coach Tex here, and this is your strength routine. This work isn't extra, it's part of your run training, so stay consistent with it, and let's get after it. We're gonna kick this workout off with a Tabata style warm-up. That means 8 rounds, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. All right, squad, first move on your warm-up Tabata is gonna be a bounce. We're just getting the body nice and warm, kind of shaking out your arms, shaking out your shoulders, getting some stretch to those feet and calves for just 20 seconds there. Next move is gonna be your lateral lunge. We'll step to one side for the first 20 seconds. Step away, your hips go back. As you drop into that lunge, drive yourself back to start. Looking to get a little bit more depth on that lunge as you get more and more warmed up. Then from there, for the next 20 seconds, we'll go to the other side on that lunge. Next up is gonna be your bear to downward dog. We're gonna start in your bear position like you were doing bear crawls. So on all fours, bring your toes under and bring your knees just up off the ground, but they're still up under your hips. From there, we're gonna drive your butt up, your chest down, your heels towards the ground, and then back down. You're gonna get that stretch to your hamstrings, to your calves, as well as building some strength in that upper back. 20 seconds on that move before we go into your thoracic spine or T-spine rotation. On all fours again, one hand goes behind your ear. We're gonna twist down and then twist open. Twist down, twist open for 20 seconds. From there, we'll go right back into that bear to downward dog, and then that T-spine rotation on the other side for 20 seconds. Your last move, one more time, we're going back into that bounce. Nice, should be good and warm. We're shaking it out one more time, and then you'll be ready to rock. Let's do it all together. All right, squad, we've got about 4 minutes of work on this Tabata. Let's get warm. Got my timer rolling. 20 seconds, we're bouncing. Looking to feel that springiness through your feet, through your calves, kind of shaking out those shoulders, just getting your whole body warm and ready to move.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, 10-second recovery here. We're going into that lateral lunge, one direction.
3, 2, 1, go.
Starting off a little more shallow as those ankles, as those glutes, as your inner thighs become a little more warmed up. You're looking for a little more depth in that bad boy.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, got 10 seconds here. Same thing on the other side.
3, 2, 1, go.
Again, a little bit deeper as you get closer to those last couple of repetitions.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, next up, we're going into that bear to downward dog, getting that upper back, those calves and hamstrings ready to roll. Oh man, that one feels good. Next up, thoracic rotation.
3, 2, 1, go.
Twisting down and then up, really pushing through that arm that's still on the ground. Back into that downward dog.
3, 2, 1, go.
Looking to get a little deeper your second time around.
3, 2, 1,
Thoracic rotation on the other side.
3, 2, 1, go.
Really rotate open, twist, try to get that elbow towards the sky. All right, last one, bouncing one more time.
3, 2, 1, go.
At this point, you should feel a little more limber, a little more warm, ready to start getting into some work. All right, squad, so for your first strength interval, we're breaking out the bands. We're gonna do each move for 1 minute with a 30-second rest or transition time to the next move. We'll do that for all 4 of our movements, 2 for the lower body, 2 for the upper body, and then we'll take a 1 minute break before we repeat all 4 moves for either 2 or 3 rounds. Let's get into it. Your first 2 moves are gonna be lower body banded moves. When you're banded up, the band is trying to pull your knees into this internally rotated or valgus position. And that position, over the thousands of repetitions that you'll do during running, are major causes of knee and hip issues. So you want to work against that by strengthening those muscles with the band. So when we're banded up, make sure you're rotating out against the band and not letting it pull you in. Move number 1 is going to be your banded lateral walk. We're going to get into a little quarter squat position. So butt goes, well, firstly, open those hips up, rotate out against the band, then butt goes back and down just a little bit. We're gonna hold this position, 3 steps out, 1, 2, 3, 3 steps back, 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're doing for time. Make sure you're not reaching, because now we're in that internally rotated position versus taking smaller steps and keeping your knee, hip, and feet in good alignment. And also, make sure that you're controlling that band each step on the way out and on the way in, and not letting the band just slam your feet together. Control it both ways, y'all. Next move up is gonna be your banded hip bridge. We're gonna work those glutes and drive them towards the sky, but make sure you're not losing connection with that band. Don't let that band pull your knees in. As you're driving up, you're also rotating and driving out against the band. Let's lay it on down. All right, from here, drive out against the band. Take this curve in your lower back and try to reverse it. So tuck your hips under, press your lower back into the ground, and we're gonna continue that tucking, which is what's gonna drive your hips up. Squeeze, hold that extension, and back down. All the way up, back down. Really working those glutes. And again, make sure that as you're coming up, you're not forgetting about the band and letting it close you in. Keep that band open as you're driving those hips up, squad. Your next 2 moves are going to be upper body banded moves, and you'll likely want to go with a slightly lower resistance on your band than you did with your lower body moves, since you're working smaller muscles. These moves are designed to keep your shoulders back and down, your chest up, so that when you're running, you don't adopt this forward hunch position that's going to be inefficient. So let's get banded up right above your watch line. And your first move is going to be just a banded front raise. So just like the legs, when you're banded up, it wants to pull you in. You're rotating out, so get your shoulders back and down, open up that band, and we're holding it open as we draw it up to shoulder height and back down. Making sure that as we're coming up and it becomes more challenging, we're not letting that band squeeze you in. So constantly rotate out, open against that band, come on up and back down under control. Can you keep the same width on the band as you're going through your movements? Your last move on the circuit is going to be a plank in and out. So you're holding a plank, and we're going to tap out, come back in, tap out, come back in, with that work happening from the shoulder. So again, making sure that you're controlling it and not letting it whip you all the way back together. Keep tension on that band, y'all. Get into your good plank to start. Hands are under your shoulders, straight line, bring your head down to your heels, tuck that pelvis, pull your belly button in, and tap. Back to the middle, tap, back to the middle. Of course, if you need to, go down to your knee plank to make sure that you're keeping a good plank as you're going through this move. All right, team, now that y'all know what all the moves are, let's get to work. All right, squad, I've got my interval timer rolling. Let's go. 1 minute, banded lateral walk. 3 steps out, 3 steps back. The goal isn't to get 1,000,000 reps here. The goal is to keep them nice and clean, really controlling what that band is doing versus that band controlling you. As we're getting deeper into these reps, you're really gonna start feeling the burn back in those lateral glutes. So kind of towards the back side of your butt. And those are the muscles that work to help keep your body in good position, your knees and hips in good position when you're walking, when you're running. All right, we've got 30 seconds of rest here. Then we're going down for 1 minute of that banded glute bridge. Again, not looking for 1,000,000 reps, but let's make sure we get that good solid squeeze and we keep that band open. Tuck it under, and we're driving up. Keep that belly button pulled in tight as you drive those hips up. And when you're on the way back down, you're thinking about vertebrae by vertebrae, top to bottom, rather than just dropping your butt down and putting that giant curve in your back. So tuck it under and keep that tuck going to drive those hips towards the sky. Couple more reps.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, squad, we've got 30 seconds to switch to your upper body bands. This is definitely gonna be a nice little break for your legs before we go back in for round number 2. Again, we're thinking about rotating open against that band.
3, 2, 1, go.
How still can you keep your shoulders as you're going up through these reps? Okay, making sure that band isn't collapsing on you as you're coming up. Shoulders back and down. Raise that bad boy up and bring it on down under control. Just like those banded lateral walks, may not feel like a ton of work initially, but you'll start to feel that fatigue set in those smaller muscles along the back of your shoulder as you're getting deeper and deeper into your set. So take those breaks as you need to and kind of shake those shoulders out a little bit to make sure you're keeping good form as you're going through each and every rep throughout your minute here. Don't let that band suck you in.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, we're gonna keep that band on the upper body. We got 30 seconds to rest up, then we're down in our plank. Okay, this is a minute-long plank, so go to your knees if you feel like your plank is starting to falter a little bit to make sure we're keeping good form.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right, planking it out. Tap and back in. Not about getting a ton of reps, it's about control. how still can you keep the rest of your body as you go side to side with your hands. A wider base with your legs will make that a little more manageable, not have quite as much rotation in your hips. All right, team, we have a full minute on your rest here. Then we'll go in for round number 2. We're banding back up around those calves. Not that it's a goal, but since we are doing this in circuit fashion and for time, you may feel your heart rate start to get elevated a little bit during these workouts, and that's cool. But again, it's not a goal. You're not busting your butt like you would in one of your sprint interval sessions here. That elevated heart rate is just a little bonus to the work that you're putting in. Round 2, baby. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't be surprised if on this round you start to feel that burn a little bit earlier on, since your muscles should be a little bit worked from that first round already. Again, just take those breaks as you need to. You can shake it out, get right back to work, focusing on keeping that good technique. Leading with your thigh versus reaching with your foot. All right, lead with that thigh. 3, 1, 2, 3. Woo! Feeling it, y'all. All right, we're going back down for those hip bridges. Keep that band open. We've got 30 seconds here. Tucked and driving. Again, keeping tension on the band. This type of work, this strength work, is the work that's going to make you a more resilient runner. Of course, you know, putting in miles, doing hard work is great, but your body has to be capable of handling the work you're giving it, or it's going to break down. And this is how we make sure your body can handle all that hard work, team. Just a couple more. Squeeze. And back down.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, 30 seconds here. We're going back to the upper body. Shake it out. Right, you know the deal. Chest up, shoulders back and down. Front raise.
3, 2, 1, go.
Straight up and down. Straight up. Not letting it pull you in. Keep that band open. Keep those arms as straight as you can. Chest is up. Making sure that we're not rounding as we're going out. Chest up, shoulders down, y'all. If you ever had, like a bad burning in your upper back, your traps around your shoulders when you're running, or maybe even pain in your neck, it's likely that you're rounding in that upper back while you're running. And this move here is going to help you keep good posture.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, we're back down on that plank for round number 2 coming up here. Again, it's not about getting a million reps. You want to hold the good plank and make sure that work is coming from the shoulder versus bending your arm and trying to reach. It all comes from the shoulder. All right, we're planking it out, wider base, and we're tapping. The work is happening every time you pick your arm up. You're going into a one-arm plank, which is going to be an anti-rotation move, and also the band wants to pull you in, but you're driving out against it. Again, as you pick that up, the band wants to squeeze you in fast, but you're controlling it on the way back in. If you're losing your plank, you're about to start an arch, go down to that knee plank. Hold a good plank and keep it going. All right, squad, another 1 minute break here. Then we're going back in for that third round. Of course, if you're mixing this in with your other workouts for the day, and you can only get 2 rounds done today, that's great. That's definitely better than no rounds. But if you're doing this on its own, we're looking for 3 rounds. I always recommend sitting down when you're banding up on the lower body. Number one thing that's going to derail you from achieving your best 5K is not being able to finish your training because you accidentally slipped up and twisted an ankle trying to put your band on. So let's be smart about it. Sit down when you're banding up. It's going to make it a little easier to get into a good position as well. Then we can stand up when it's time to get that work done. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's that last round, y'all. I mean, it's finish line time. I know y'all are gonna give up, not this close to the finish line. Right, there's that burn. That familiar feeling lets me know that I'm getting that work done. Those postural muscles that are gonna help me keep good alignment in my hips are firing.
3, 2, 1, rest.
Woo! All right, one more round of those glute bridges, squad. Again, right up in here is where you should be feeling that work. Last minute on the glute bridge. Tuck and drive. Again, I know, last round you're feeling that work, but your goal is to stay strict here. Don't let that band squeeze your knees together. That's part of your work. That's what's working those lateral glutes and keeping you in good alignment, where it's going to translate into your running. reps.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, squad, way to get it done. We're done with that lower body band. Let's ditch it. And one more time, upper body bands. Just 2 more minutes of work on this chunk.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, shoulders are pulled down, band is open. Let's get it. What often wants to happen is as we bring that band up, we bring our arms up, the shoulders want to hunch as well. But your goal is, can I keep my shoulders down and locked in a good position as I'm doing that raise? We're gonna feel some work in your lats, those muscles that are right there by your armpit, to basically suck your shoulder blades down and hold them in good position as you go up through this raise. So got a little shake going on. That's all good. We call it the tremor of truth. That's how I know you're getting that work done. You're fighting that band.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right, squad, 30 seconds here. One more plank. Get it, last one. Control that band, baby. Slow, thoughtful movements. Make sure not ending up with your hands way out here. A good plank is going to be hands under your shoulders. Boom! That is your banded circuit. Way to get it done, team.